It is time for the first proper road trip of this year. A road trip in the amazing country that we have decided to base ourselves in. Norway.
The first day was just about making distance. So although it might be boring, we got on the E6 towards Otta. After a while we could see mountains in the distance and the scenery became a little bit more interesting. Maybe a little too interesting for some, and that's when we decided to look for somewhere to camp for the night.
But unfortunately there was nowhere to camp in that area.
Oh yeah, so we had to continue the search. A search that took a little longer than we expected. But after a petrol station pizza, we finally found our spot.
So I was doing a nice time lapse, but then someone decided to run over my camera. It's gonna run over me now.
You didn't run over you right now.
That's modern wilderness for you. But the camp's all set up for today. It's a little bit of a project finding it, but hello. Yeah, I'm still in there and standing here. I need sunnies.
Thank you. I look like a fly with this.
First day of camping done. The first official day of the road trip starts. What do I think about the camping?
We were actually really lucky to find the spot. It's a little campground. We don't know yet if we have to pay for it or if this is even part of the campground.
I was comfortable enough, but I woke up in the middle of the night and me arse was a fucking ice cube, lads.
My booty was getting a little cold and my feet as well, because you're not insulated from underneath, obviously.
Some parts of me were freezing, some parts of me were warm. I was cold and warm at the same time, and I tried to fix that and it helped a little, so I got some sleep. Slept enough.
But Sean had a lot of struggle last night. I could see it. He was hanging, like his hammock was hanging through a lot and it wasn't tight enough, but he didn't let me help, so I personally slept fine. We have the road like right there, so I don't know if you can hear that. You hear that all night?
We're traveling in Norway and Norway is very expensive. So we thought if we can keep our accommodation costs down by camping a few other nights, that'll be grand. It's very nice to be in a part of the world where we can take advantage of nature and use what's there. So getting some water straight out of the river and using the ice cold river water, which I imagine is just melted snow from the mountains, because we have Jotunheim just over there, you can see it from here. That really woke me up and it tastes delicious. Now this is out of my coffee cup, so it tastes a little bit like coffee, which is okay. It's tricking my mind into thinking that I'm having coffee. But the river water, trust me, it does not taste like coffee, but it's good.
I woke up I think at 5 and was like thinking I'm not gonna fall asleep again, but I fell asleep and Sean woke me up at 9. Luckily, because we wanna start early today. We wanna go further towards Trollstigen, if I'm right. And I'm excited for that. It's gonna be an amazing view, I think. And I'm now really excited for a good coffee and yeah, start this day. Start this adventure and start this holiday finally.
So I think it's time to pack up here in the Vågåmo and get going.
Yeah, let's get ready and going.
First stop was Circle K, the church of the road, to get a real non-river water coffee before we sat off in the direction of Trollstigen. I was excited for the road.
Well, I was super excited for the view on the top.
at Trollstigen yet, but we had to stop here and just take in the beauty that are all around us, but particularly in front of us.
This part of Norway makes you feel so small. The epic mountains on either sides of the deep valley cannot be described, just seen with your own eyes.
A little further down the road, we got the first glimpse of it. The mighty Trollstigen. The road is narrow and tight, with no room for mistakes. Climbing it on a motorcycle is not for everyone. I'm no expert rider, but I would say this mountain pass is more for the experienced. 11 hairpin turns and 700 meters in elevation later, we reached the top of this 86-year-old mountain pass. And the top was an amazing addition to an already amazing road. Was the view as expected, Mara?
No, it was even better. Although I didn't make it to the viewing platform that overlooked the troll ladder, I got to enjoy Stegafoss waterfall while getting a sunburn from the reflecting snow.
Troll water. Tastes like troll piss.
No, it doesn't.
After the view had been enjoyed, we continued across the mountain, through the snow and the ever-changing landscape. To Fjorden, where we boarded a ferry that would take us to the next destination.
On the other side, we reached Norway's most beautiful fjord.
And the town of Geiranger.
In the town we enjoyed an expensive beer and overpriced food.
But Geiranger had nowhere for us to stay, so we set off across the mountain, looking for somewhere to set up camp. After searching for a long time, we even considered setting up camp here. But in the end,
We had to admit defeat yesterday and rent a little cabin to stay in. Yesterday was one hell of a day when it comes to riding. I think we were riding about 12 hours yesterday, so that was pretty hardcore. We set up with the main goal yesterday to hit Trollstigen, and we did. From there on, I saw it wasn't far to Geiranger, which was another destination that we wanted to go to. So I was like, fuck it, let's go there, and I would just stay in Geiranger.
Geiranger was a... I hope I say that right. Geiranger was a sight to see, but more from above. Like coming down to Geiranger was an amazing sight. Seeing the fjord and then the mountain coming out right out of the water, like no land in between, like just like coming right out of it. It looked amazing.
But the problem with Geiranger is that there was nothing there. So like in the town itself was just nothing. It was just tourist trap after tourist trap.
There isn't much to do It's a lot of touristy shops. It's expensive food. It's way more campground than a place where you can like go shopping or like do something cool. Once again, we realized why we normally don't go to tourist destinations. We searched for a nice place there to hang our hammocks, but the campgrounds were full, the trees weren't the right ones, so we had to head on.
That's why we ended up here at this camp, which I'm not mad about.
It's not the worst. Small little cabin.
At least it's warm and we have Wi-Fi.
Mara has Wi-Fi, I have beer, so we're both happy.
It was 700 kroner for this cabin, and at first I was a little hesitant. I was like, 700 kroner. Well, camping or our hammocks, they're free. We save some money. But as soon as I walked in here and it was so nice and warm in here, I was like, it was just so fucking worth it. And then had a shower, 100% worth it. Today's not a great day for riding. It's just pissing down so far. So I'm not sure what we do today.
And I think since the weather is gonna stay a little gloomy and rainy today, our journey won't be that long today. I can't stop looking out of the window and looking at all these clouds laying on the mountains. It's so beautiful.
We left our warm cabin with no idea where to go next. We decided to set course for Hallingdal and just see what happens along the way. That's when we came across this magical place. Lovatnet.
We could not help ourselves to wonder, what is on the other side of this lake? So we went to find out.
And we were not disappointed. After our minds were blown by this unexpected location, we continued our course towards Hallingdal.
Even though the conditions were horrible, the landscape was still beautiful. And after saying hi to the locals, we stopped at another beautiful site.
The Church of the Road.
It's absolutely miserable out there. I mean, we did know that setting off today. We saw the weather forecast, saw it's going to be miserable. But we decided to head off anyway, instead of staying an extra night where we were staying, which right now sounds really damn good. Yeah. Circle K, or as it's pronounced in Norwegian, Statoil, is the best roadside stop when you're touring in Norway. They just got everything you need.
The only thing Circle K does not have is accommodation, so we had to continue.
So we made our way through the rain, between the mountains and the mist, till our second home up here in Hallingdal. Yesterday was An unpleasant ride. The ride should have been around 5 hours, but with the weather and us just being tired and not wanting to deal with being completely soaked the entire time, I think we drove from Luen at 3 and arrived here shortly before midnight.
We had two options. Either stay where we are, stay in that little cabin that we rented, or just carry on.
But our decision to set direction for Hallingdal and see what happens along the way ended up with us ending up in Hallingdal because we didn't find anything along the way. If it wouldn't have been for the shitty weather yesterday, we probably wouldn't have come this far south already. We probably would have waited a few more days before we do that.
We are actually amazed by how much we have been able to put in this short... Damn it, mosquito! This could have been a 4-day holiday, and we could have driven home today and would have been happy about it because we saw all the things that we wanted to see, and now we're a little bit like, what's next?
But in a way, I'm very happy that we're here because we're here now and we can have a rest day, which is very needed.
Oh, that was nice. But now we're gonna need some food. Yesterday we had a rest day. Today is time for another adventure.
This adventure was to Stegastein in Aurland, 120 kilometers away. A place that we had just found online the day prior. And to reach it, we had to cross an amazing mountain pass called Hallingskarvet. As we climbed the mountain up from Aurlandsvangen, we started to see why this place was so high on Norwegian tourist boards. After enjoying the view of Aurlandsfjorden, the tourist buses started to pile in, so we decided to head down the mountain and into the fjord.
Woo! That was nice.
That was awesome. That was exactly what we needed.
From mountains and snow to swimming in a fjord. That's what it's about. It's crazy to be down here and look up and all you see is snow-capped mountains. And here we are just comfortably swimming in the fjord beneath. yesterday when we were down at Circle K, I met a random guy who pulled up to me with his car, and he asked me if I was going to Goul. And I said to him, no, not particularly. Why?
This stranger explained that there's a hog rally in Goul the next day, and that we should come.
So I'm going to take my filthy ass Road King down to Goul to the Hogs Rally.
So the road trip has come to an end.
I really needed this holiday. That was so nice.
The only thing we have left is to drive back home from our second home. So this road trip, it was short, very short, but really fucking good. I saw some parts of Norway that I've never seen before. It's spectacular. This country is crazy how beautiful it is, and how...
And the further we went north, the beauty increased. Like, I couldn't close my mouth at some point. It was so beautiful. We saw so many waterfalls on this trip. I'm thinking now that I should have counted them, because it was crazy how many waterfalls you see in this country.
I felt like we drove so fucking much this trip, but at the same time felt like we didn't go very far. We kind of stayed in the same part of the country the entire time, even though we traveled so much. A lot of people don't realize how big this country is, but it is massive. Obviously, starting a road trip is nearly always the best part, because you just feel like, finally I'm on the road. You're just setting off in a direction. You're just so excited to get out there.
We extra bought these tent hammocks. Ended up only using them once. They were not that comfortable and a little cold, but I think with some adjustments we will use them again sometime, if we're able to find trees. Doing at least one night of camping was quite nice. Doing something different, coming out of the city and like just being in nature. Even though we ended up on a campground. Was a little bit of our savior though, because we couldn't find any trees.
My favorite parts of the trip, Trollstigen, absolutely amazing. I need to go back.
It was just amazing. Like, I didn't know it was gonna go over a waterfall. Even though Sean said he had shown it to me on online, but it was a little crazy going through those sharp corners with traffic coming from the other side, even though it's like a super small road. But that's something you have to get used to in Norway in general, because the roads are tight. It is hard to drive on them, especially when you're when you're in a car. But since we were on a motorcycle, it was a little easier, I think. I would not drive that with a car, that's for sure.
And then down to Stryn and Lovatnet. Lovatnet was so beautiful, so fucking amazing.
Especially because it was such a misty day. It gave the mountains such a mysterious look, and being by the water and having complete silence and quiet and not so many tourists around you was just great.
And I nearly lost all the drone footage from that location. I managed to get it all back, as you've seen. But that was close. My SD card just stopped working. I was really fucking worried I would lose all the footage. It was also just a great way to round up this whole road trip by going on to the Hogs Rally.
Turned out to be a great little event with some musicians on stage, some cool beer, and just a chill day in general, which we also ended in the sauna with more beer.
It was small and sweet, and but you know the fun thing about it, and I think what made it so cool was that it was just so random. We met a stranger, he told us about it, we went, and we met that stranger again, really friendly guy. I never got his name, unfortunately.
In general, I think this trip was really needed. I'm very happy and feel very relaxed, and
I'm just really excited for the next trip, which is coming soon.
I'm also a little sad. I would like to travel some more.
I just love being on the road. This is where I feel at home.
How does Sean always say? Thanks for watching another video here at Winter Motors.
My name is Sean Winter, your friendly neighborhood outlaw.
I'm Mara.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, because there's a lot more fun to come.
I hope to see you next time.
Bye bye.